Make sure it's recording. Okay, awesome. It is April 5th, 2020. It is 1:19 p.m. and I am here with, who am I here with?
So my married name is Wojcieszek. So I am Laura Wojcieszek.
Awesome. Miss Wojcieszek, um, what do you do? What's your occupation?
I I am a kindergarten ESL teacher.
Oh, nice. And where are you located? Where do you live?
So I live in Itasca, Illinois, and I teach in Bensenville, Illinois.
Nice. Oh, you still teach in Bensenville. That's awesome. That is
Still
awesome.
in Bensenville.
Okay, I guess my first question would be, would you consider, since you are a teacher, would you consider your job to be essential, like an essential job, or what they call essential jobs now?
Uh, that's a difficult question. So I definitely consider teachers essential, but as far as the spread of the virus is concerned, we're not essential in a body to body type
Okay.
manner.
Now, but since you guys are like, I guess since you are an educator, how are you reaching out to your students, if any? Like, how are you giving out resources?
Okay, so initially, so let's back up a little bit. So, we have cold days and we have snow days here in the state of Illinois. And the plan was instead of calling those days where you'd have to make those up at the end of the year, if we had e-learning or remote learning, whatever you want to call it, if we had those lesson plans up and ready to go on those days, we would just call those e-learning days. The kids would all obviously learn from their computers on that day, and then we wouldn't have to make up those days. However, those e-learning days, all those all those plans needed to be approved by the Illinois State Board of Ed. So we were already working towards that. So when this first happened, we had some of those e-learning days already approved.
Okay.
We only had 3 though.
Oh, wow.
So then the scramble then became to then develop more e-learning plans that were then specific to what we were actually teaching, because those other ones were very generic, because you never know when you're going to get a cold day or a snow day, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But we had the format, the outline of what we needed to do. So we scrambled to get another 10 days worth of learning um, in the, what the hell do they call it? Google Classroom. So the kids
Okay.
could then be assessed.
Okay. Now, are there any other resources that you're able to give to your students? Like besides, I think you said besides the Google Learning, like have you ever heard of like Class Dojo or oh, I forgot what Seesaw. There you go. Is any
Okay,
of those?
so right. So here's what Seesaw is. I call it the Facebook for parents. Okay, it's very specific to a classroom teacher and her students. Okay, so the same thing like Facebook. You can post pictures, post videos, you can personal message people, but it's very specific to your classroom. As where with the older grades, like third grade and up, they use a different platform in addition to Seesaw. So they're in Google Classrooms,
Okay.
is where kids 1 and 2 don't have that because those kids don't have access to a device.
Hmm. Okay. Now, since I guess everything's going online for teaching and stuff, like how hard has it been for you to reach out to like to your students and parents?
Okay, so it's been really difficult because right now for kindergarten, first, and second, the only way that we can communicate with them is via Seesaw.
Mhm.
Okay, and so what we do is we do send links to the school district's website where all the lesson plans are, but they're all very generic because they don't actually have the materials.
Okay.
See, when this happened, we just figured we were going all the way up until tomorrow. We figured we'd be back tomorrow.
Mhm.
So we gave them a hands-on materials to last till tomorrow.
Okay.
But now case, so now all the lesson plans that have been uploaded are all very generic.
Okay.
So it's hard because of another reason in that if you have the internet today, it doesn't mean you're going to have it tomorrow. We
Mhm.
have a big population of parents in poverty
Yeah.
who all have the phone where you pay as you go. And so you may have had internet a month ago, but now there's not a lot of people working,
Okay.
and a lot of people are furloughed, they've been laid off. A lot of our families are undocumented, so they don't have access to the internet anymore.
Okay.
So no matter, now we've lost contact with them,
Okay.
essentially.
Okay. Now, I guess as far as like the school district itself, like what are like besides the electronic resources, what other resources is the school district giving out or providing for families?
So the school district is hoping, number one, that you can access the internet and you can access their website. They post everything on the website, and then links to your specific grade level. So they've tried to format it very easily for the parents, and then each then grade level teacher sends links to other videos or other things that the kids can do educational wise. We're trying to provide food for our families. So what we've done is we've set up stations all throughout the community, and we've got the buses going to bus stops with all the food, and people are standing in line and getting food
Okay.
because you can't come directly to the school for a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I guess personal wise, like, or essentially, my next question was going to be like if you felt protected and safe at safe at work, but since you're having to do your work at home, like I guess does your work does do you feel the same doing your work at home?
No, I don't feel the same because we're not connected to our kids, and I'm creating lesson plans that are extremely generic. And I'm hoping that the generic plan gets out to the families when really it's like a catch 22. If you're home and you can do it, great. But if you can't, then you can't, because obviously you have other things that you're doing that are way more important. And you know that for who are at risk, that sometimes sitting down and doing work with your child does not make the list of the three important things you need to do today.
Yeah.
So it's like you actually need the body, you need the child. You're
Mhm.
you're hoping that parents take on your role when really, for a lot of them, they can't. There's not that they don't want to, they just incapable of doing it at this time.
Okay. Now, as I guess since you did mention having to have be connected with your students, would you find that like the most like hardest thing right now is not being connected with your students?
That is the hardest part, is not seeing them, and then knowing too that you know I taught preschool for 23 years, and I was in a lot of the homes, and so I know what the homes look like, and
Mhm.
I know about the situations that exist in families, and I know the type of families that we have, and so I know that it's a struggle for everybody, but for those families, it's even harder,
Yeah.
and so that breaks my heart because um, we provide all that in school. We give
Okay.
them the routine, education, stability, the food, the nurturing. Um, and for some kids, that's the only stability that they have.
Okay.
So that's heartbreaking for me.
Now I got some questions for my producer over here, my wife, because essentially we're both well my wife, she already graduated, but we're essentially and
Oh, wonderful. Love it.
well, I should say my wife is an educator. I am aiming towards to be an educator.
Good job. Good
One of
job.
the questions that I got was, have you been back to your classroom during this whole
No,
pandemic?
no, they won't let us back.
Oh wow. Okay, not even if you like say you forgot your like your purse,
Too
your
bad.
flash drive.
Bad, so sad. They told you all to take it when you were leaving. They told you, take it. You're out of here. Bring everything home. They told us bring everything home Friday.
Mhm.
That was it, March 13th. Even though we knew we were supposed to come back Monday and Tuesday, and then when the word came in from the governor, they said no, we were only going back Monday. They assured us on Monday the building's going to be closed, so take whatever you need, and we're not allowing anybody in. I mean, we
Okay.
have to. We have.
Now I
Yeah,
guess
nobody's been.
um with that, like without taking anything, like were you able to take any like class mementos, like maybe a picture from a student or that like
Uh,
man, I really want that, looks really awesome. Let me just take that home just to kind of have like that small connection with my students.
you know what? That's why I love Seesaw, because you can reach out to the parents and you can take pictures. You can see it, and they'll send pictures of the kids waving, and holding up signs. I miss you, and so that's really cute because that is the only way. Otherwise, I don't know. We're talking about doing a drive-by
Okay.
where we drive around, in our cars, and the kids stand out on the street. But it's hard, yeah. It's
Yeah.
hard to not get that contact.
Okay. Now, potentially the next question, I think you kind of answered this. Do you worry for your students that aren't, I guess that aren't able to, that you're not able to connect with?
Exactly, we do, and on Seesaw you can see, that's the good part about Seesaw. It's kind of like Messenger when you send a message to see if somebody's read it.
Mhm.
So Seesaw is formatted the same way, so you can see who's on it, who hasn't been on. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know which parents are opening the app. So for those who haven't even touched it, I worry because maybe you don't have the internet anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you've kind of like been lost touch with them.
Yeah.
They told us we can call our families, but I mean, if you're not reaching out via the platform, I'm not going to call anybody and bother anybody. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To ask the,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Now, I guess for next year, do you think that there will be a drop in enrollment due to all this?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't
Okay.
think. No, I don't
Okay.
think so. People
Now,
have probably perfect attendance for a long time.
okay. Um, I guess my next question would be, what do you hope each child gets during this time?
Oh my gosh, I hope each child gets food. I hope everybody is fed. I hope everybody is loved and nurtured because, again, based on our population, it can be really, really stressful,
Mhm.
and when people are stressed, adults are stressed, I worry what happens.
Yeah.
Do they take it out on their spouse? Do they take it out on the kids? A lot of our kids live in apartments. Can you imagine,
Yeah.
like, being cooped up and
Hmm.
not, I just hope that everybody's safe. I really do.
Okay. Now, I guess my last question from my producer here. Do you feel support? Do you feel supported by your administration?
Oh yeah, they're all over this. They're trying as best that they can. They want to make sure that they hold the standard of education high. They want to make sure that they set the bar high and that we meet their expectation. But they're also very realistic to understand that it just for some of them it can't be done. So they get it.
Yeah.
It's the double-edged sword.
Okay.
And
Now,
there's always
okay.
those that
Now,
are different. I'm fine with it.
yeah. Now, I guess for next year, are there gonna? I guess is the school district gonna be making the students to like repeat like grades, or are they just gonna automatically bump them up?
So yeah, that's been talked about. So we don't know, and they're looking to see what everybody else is doing because this is so widespread. I mean, it's global
Mhm.
for the
Yeah.
most part. No one's going to be better off or worse off than the other person. And all the lessons that we have and that we grade, they don't count against the students.
Mhm.
So I mean, everybody's in the same boat.
Mhm.
Like your grade is pretty much your grade what it was before all this started.
Yeah.
If you were doing well, chances are you'll be fine. If you weren't going to be fine anyways. There wasn't anything that we were going to be able to do in April and May to
Mhm.
really bump you up. So
Okay.
there's no talk. Who knows? As far as I know, everybody's gonna move on to the next grade.
Okay. Now, I guess do you keep in contact with any of your colleagues?
Oh God, every single day. So they're via text messages or Zoom. That's
Okay.
another thing I look at too. I'm so proud of myself. Um, so yeah, so we do that just stay connected socially, just to
Okay.
talk.
Nice. Now, I guess going like kind of like more of your personal life, your home life, like how has I guess this pandemic affected you like personally? Not just like I guess work wise, but like more of a like being aware type deal.
Okay, so you can eat off the floors in my house because I have done
Nice.
nothing.
Okay.
Um, it's it's given you obviously a time to reflect on what's really important. I just had a birthday, and typically, my husband and I go out, we're
Yeah.
having dinner, celebrated the whole week, different people, and really now what it really boiled down to was I had time to be with my family,
Okay.
my husband, kids, and and I'm grateful for it. I
Mhm.
didn't, the other stuff was nice, don't get me wrong, but I didn't, when you talk about need versus want,
Yeah.
I have what I need.
Mhm.
Um, you just find a lot of things to do. I mean, I'm bored out of my mind. I can't, I'm not that type of person to sit still. So
Yeah.
this is making me crazy. I'm about to
Okay.
go hook up the power and start on the outside of the house.
Okay. Now, I guess my next question would be more like on mental health, more like psychological thing. Like, how has this affected your like mental health, and all that?
Well, the liquor stores are still open. So, mental health wise, I'm good.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
You know what? You need to stay grateful.
Mhm.
You need to stay grateful. Positive, whatever. You need to stay grateful. I have a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my family's health, for my parents who are older,
Mhm.
they're 80.
Okay.
Grateful that, so you just got to keep that in your mind. And this is going to be over. It's going to, when, I don't know, but you got to try to stay grateful.
Okay.
That's all. It sucks. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Now, since you did mention that your parents are older, like within the demographics to be the most affected by the virus, is there a fear of that your parents
yeah,
might be affected?
yeah, because they don't get it. They're not
Mhm.
really understanding this, that, stay in the house, don't go out. They're of a different generation. You and I get it. You go on Amazon, you go to Instacart, you have your stuff delivered, or, they're not, oh, I'll just go to Walgreens. No,
Mhm.
stay in the house.
Yeah.
Uh, go to the drive-through and get your medicine. You don't need to go in to talk to the pharmacist. They just, they're kind of like oblivious to it, and that worries me
Okay.
because I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
they, they,
Yeah.
they say they get it, but I don't think you get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now, I guess as far as like any like observations, like have you been able to go to the store lately?
Oh, yeah, I have. I
Okay.
am fortunate to live very close to a handful of stores.
Okay. Now, as far as like observations, what are some observations that you've made while walking the stores or even walking outside?
Oh God. Okay, so there's people that get it and there's people that don't get
Mhm.
it. And so classic story. Target, okay? You think the people there would get it. They're
Mhm.
working there, okay? The whole social distancing, cleaning everything. I walk in, there's a lady, she's wiping off the cart. Well, I don't want to get next to her. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go reach for another cart. And she says, "Oh, no, take this one. I'm cleaning it for you." And she starts to get closer to me. And I said, "Well, thank you for cleaning it off, but don't forget about social distancing." And she looks at me like I have green hair.
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Why are you bothering to wipe off the cart if you're getting so close to me? Like, hello? Like,
Yeah.
so you think they get it, but then they don't get it.
Yeah.
Then there's the people that got the gloves and the mask and their head is covered, and they might as be wearing a hazmat suit and they're like hyper aware. And then there are those that are just like, here I am
Mhm.
looking at this, picking this up, putting it back. I'm like, oh my God, like get what you need to get and get the hell out. You know, people spectrum.
Okay. Now, as far as your own actions, like what have you noticed about things that you do now that you haven't done in the past?
Okay, I do the same thing I've always done with the addition now that they said wear a mask. So when I went shopping yesterday, I had a mask on.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm, again, working in preschool for so many years, we are exposed to bodily fluids. We would spray our heads with Lysol. We would, put the gel up and down our arms. We were constantly cleaning things. And I'm a clean freak at home. So that hasn't changed for me. You
Okay.
know, I've cleaned more of my house and more intensively since I'm bored off my ass, but I'm not, I'm a germaphobe.
Yeah.
So my life hasn't changed
Okay.
in that.
Okay. Now, I guess. what would be what would be the first thing that you would do once this quarantine or like once this self quarantine ends? What's the first thing that you want to do?
Oh God, I have a list. It's a catch-22 because it's like you have the time now to do stuff in your house, but like you can't go to the store to get the things you need. So now I've created this list of things that need to get painted, things that need to get fixed, things that need to happen. Um, all in all, I guess it's just, being with the people that you love. I love my family, and I don't get me wrong, love them all to death, would give my life up for any of them, but I'm kind of sick of them. So it's grateful, but I need some other people,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
I
Now,
need to convert other people
yeah.
besides them.
Awesome. Now, if I can remember, I believe you have two children, correct?
Three,
Three children. Okay.
three.
Are they all like within like the like school range, like college, high school?
So my no, my daughter's the youngest and she's 21, so she's a junior in college.
Okay.
And then my son are 26 and 27.
Okay. Nice. Now, do they go to school?
No,
No. Okay. I guess. I guess for
they're
your.
working.
Okay. Nice. Now, I guess for your daughter, like, how has the pandemic affected her?
Okay, so she commutes to school, so she goes to Elmhurst College.
Okay.
Um, and she did have one online class this year. The other three were all on campus, and so all they've done is switched her other three classes to online.
Okay.
So
So not very
you
much
know,
of a change there.
she was already doing one online, and she's like, so now I do them all online. They have to log in, I guess, every day at a certain time, and I don't really know if they look at her and she can see them. Don't know how any of this works. And as long as she's there and participates, does the homework, gets the grade, the end. She doesn't care.
Okay.
She's like,
She's like, I just want my diploma already. That's
exactly, get my grade and get the hell out. Exactly.
okay. Nice. Now, I guess what would be my next question? Do you have any more questions? No. I guess is there anything else that you want to mention? Like anything that you like observe or anything that you felt? Any fears or what do you hope for? I guess in the end of this whole pandemic.
Oh my gosh. I hope people understand that hand washing is not just a thing that we just invented, that you're supposed to wash your hands. I don't understand how we have to tell people to wash their hands. It's like, I, I don't get it.
Mhm.
I don't get it. Now we're going to be, we're cleaning everything down. Well, weren't you supposed to always do that? I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, we live in a filthy world. Like, I don't know. I just hope people understand the importance of cleaning things. It's never going to be how I see it, but I just hope people understand that, and that people, get that not this germ, but a lot of germs can be transmitted, and just an awareness that, I'm not saying crazy, but just awareness that you have germs and you're spreading germs, and what you touch and what you do. And you hear about people wearing gloves and masks, and after they leave the store, they just throw them on the ground. What's up with that?
Oh wow.
People are slobs.
Yeah.
People, yeah. But
Okay.
just a better awareness, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Now I guess like, pretty much like the COVID-19 coronavirus is always on the news. What as far as what's the number for Illinois for as far as cases?
Oh my gosh. So I stopped watching the news because I think it just creates an unnecessary fear. I think
Mm.
there's the point of knowledge is power, but then I just think that after a while, it just becomes like, it just embraces a fear in people, and it's not needed. Like, tell me the positive. Don't, I get it.
Yeah.
It's contagious. I get how it spreads. You told me all that.
Mhm.
And now you're going to keep, like hammering it home. Tell me the good news, share some other stories. I stopped listening to it. I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
Nice.
I just
Awesome.
wait till the governor, if they say the governor's going to talk, fine. But otherwise, no, you can't.
Okay.
You can't.
I guess as far as the governor of Illinois' response time and I guess essentially going down up towards the president. What do you this is more of an opinion question, like what is your opinion on the response time for the governor of Illinois and maybe for the president of the United States?
Well, like anything else, and you see it, like we see it in education, where like, when we think about, well, why isn't our district said anything? Like, why isn't our superintendent making a call? Well, he's kind of reaching out to other superintendents to see what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to call it? When are we going to? They reach, and I think the same thing in Illinois. They're reaching out to other people who have expertise in the field to see what we should do before they initially make the call and say, hey, this is what's going on. So, I mean, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't wrong.
Awesome. Okay. Those are all the questions that I have for right now. But if I ever do have any follow-up questions, like would I be able to contact you via Messenger? Okay.
I just send me a messenger, tell me a time, and now I know how to touch the button and it's all on iPad, so no
Aw-
problem.
Awesome. Awesome. I guess I'm gonna stop recording now. This was Miss Wojcieszek, a teacher in Bensenville, Illinois.